Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so my name is Kate. I am going into my fifth year here at MSU. I'm pursuing two different degrees. I'm currently finishing up business management and working on fashion design. So that's our apparel and textile design program. I'm involved in a couple organizations here at MSU. I am currently creative director of our campus's fashion and health and beauty magazine called VIM Magazine. It's very similar to a large publication like Vogue, just smaller and within our campus. So we do photo shoots, articles, all that sort of thing. I am also serving as president of our Fashion Design Student Association, which is just a collaborative for all the students interested in fashion here at MSU. And in my free time, I really enjoy designing for fashion shows for fun. So I've had some really great experiences getting involved in different fashion shows through the US. Today, we are going to be hearing from Bryce. He is our expert. He joined the OISS team in 2019, and he enjoys his role as an advisor, serving both F1 and J1 students, as well as J1 scholars. Bryce attained his master's degree from Grand Valley State University, where he completed a graduate assistantship at the Writing Center, working with international students to perform their writing craft. He feels fortunate to have the world at his fingertips each day at MSU as he meets students and scholars from all over the globe, a Spartan perk even greater than the dairy store. Our first presenter that we will be hearing from today is Stefan. Stefan is a 19-year-old student from Prague, Czech Republic. He is placed among the top 100 high school students in the nation for the second time in a row. Stefan spent a year in the US thanks to the Flex Scholarship funded by the US government. His future plans are to attend a university abroad, possibly in the USA. He spends 10 months volunteering for an NGO, and at the moment, he is focused on starting his own social media business, helping entrepreneurs kickstart their social media presence through video making. In his free time, he loves to work out or run. And next up, we will be hearing from Kelvin. Kelvin is the Chief Executive Officer of Basana Media, the publisher and the publisher of the Basana Mail, a Mandela Washington Fellow, and a Chevening Scholar. Calvin founded the organization in 2022 to cover children's underreported issues in borderline marginalized communities of Zimbabwe. Basana means children in the Zimbabwe's Nambia language. In 2023, Calvin introduced the Ubuntu Circle, and in 2024, Interactive Spaces. The two are non-journalism projects. A multi-award winning international journalist, Calvin has used his experience to strengthen the journalism of his organization and influence his newsroom. And then thirdly, we are going to hear from Elvis. Hailing from the Mayuge district, Elvis is a 31-year-old Ugandan social entrepreneur passionate about empowering farmers through use of technology in farming. The rising young leader holds an advanced diploma in business administration and has served as a peer mentor and microfinance and an active community-based trainer in village microfinance institutions. Elvis is committed to and passionate about agriculture, technology, and changing people's lives, income and increasing food security through improved farming practices in rural Uganda. He's committed to changing the mindset that most people are having towards the agriculture value chain. All right, so with that said, I am going to switch over to our presentations. We are going to start with Stefan.
Thank you. So first of all, I would really like to thank you for having this opportunity to speak here today. I would like to showcase some of the projects and NGO organizations that we have in the Czech Republic. Some of them are international, some of them are led by adults, but the team is mostly made out of students. And the last one is completely led by students. Most of them are my friends. And it all revolves around SDG Target 4, which is quality education. So actually, I had a little introduction prepared about me, but we can skip that since Kate said everything that was kind of important. So I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures. This is from my American history class when I was in the US. I spent a year in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Then these two pictures are from the High School Student of the Year ceremony, where I placed in the top 100 in the past 2 years in a row. And the last one is just a screenshot of how my gallery looks most of the time, because I do social media as a living. So the first project that I would like to talk about today is called D of E, which is the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. And you may have heard of it because it is starting to spread in the US as well, but it is originating from the UK. And it is an international program for basically youth development. It is targeted at young people from the age of 14 to 24, but you can also join as an organization such as a school or a sports team. And basically, in this organization or this activity is split into three areas. And you choose three long-term goals for each of these areas. So you have physical activity, you have a skill, and then you have volunteering. So you have to spend at least 60 minutes each week doing these three activities. So for example, my activities were soccer, reading, and then I was a volunteer track and field coach. And every week for 6 months, I had to spend 60 minutes doing all of these three activities. And it would count as like 1 point. It would count as the week. And the great part about this project or whole organization is that you can spend 5 hours per week doing this activity, but the main thing is doing it consistently over a period of several months. And also the whole project, because it is split into three levels: bronze, silver, and gold, and each level is a different length. You conclude with an expedition, which is basically just an overnight stay in the nature, where you basically go on a big hiking trip. So this is me on my bronze expedition. We walked around 40 miles in 2 days, and we visited this really beautiful national park in Czech Republic. And this is me on my second expedition. And probably the best picture is the third one, which are two of my friends falling out of a boat. And you basically you have to bring everything with you in your backpacks. You aren't allowed to use phones or buy anything while you are on this expedition. So we had to carry our tents and our breakfasts and lunches, all that stuff with us. So as I said, it is split into three levels: bronze, silver, and gold. I have completed the bronze and silver level, and I'm currently working on my gold award. And so this is just a recapitulation of what you have to do to successfully complete this program. And here are the pictures from the ceremony where I actually received my certificate, and you get these really nice looking pins. And I also signed up to give a speech. So there's a picture of me giving a speech. Here's DFE in numbers. As you can see, there are around 130 countries participating all over the world. And as I said, it is already spreading into the US as well, but it is really popular in Europe. So the next organization is called CAMDU, and it's an NGO where I've volunteered for 10 months since this May. And it helps basically Gen Z, the youth, discover their individual personal talents and work skills and develop them through practical education, because it's one of the problems of the education in our country is that it is full of theory, but you don't really learn any practical skills that you can apply in the work field. So this organization is trying to help students by hosting 4-hour workshops where they learn practical stuff. And I also hosted one of these workshops since I spent a year in the US on the scholarship, as I said. So I was helping students find opportunities abroad and apply to them. So yeah, these are some scary numbers about our country. The most important one here is that 50% of university students drop out in the first year. And this number is a result of the high school education system not preparing the students very well for their future career. So often they make the wrong choice while picking a university, and then they have to drop out and go to a different one. So the workshops that this organization hosts are in 5 categories. They're in business, communication, social impact, technology, and science. And we've had over 600 participants, which is a lot because this is in the past 2 years since this organization was created in 2021. So it's pretty young. And here is a video. I'll just check if we have time to watch it. We do. So there are AI translated subtitles, but they're probably not very accurate and they're missing in 1/3 of the video. But I just want you to get the whole vibe of how this organization works.
Jsme Kandu, studentský projekt, který inspiruje a propojuje mladé lidi od 14 do 26 let. Pomáháme jim rozšiřovat obzory a učit se praxí. Pořádáme pro ně praktické workshopy ve firmách a organizacích, kde se mohou učit od odborníků mnoha oborů.
So as you can see in the video, it's basically small groups of students that can join these workshops. And that's also why it's so valuable, because in a normal school class, you have around 30 people, whereas here you have around 8 to 12. So the person hosting the workshop can actually individually work with all of those students. So here are some pictures of my work in the organization. It is basically where I started to do social media since I was head of Instagram. So I did video production for this organization. I also presented at their event. And the last picture is from one of the workshops. And this is our team. This organization is or was created by an adult. However, most of the team are students. There are around 40 students in this organization. And the beautiful thing about it is that you can come in and learn different skills such as copywriting or web design or graphic design or video creation. It's basically a safe space for people to develop in the team as well, not only through the workshops. And the last organization is led by only students, and it's called ČSU, which translates to Czech High School Union. And it is an organization made out of only high school students and a couple of university students. And they organize events. They're trying to improve the Czech education, and they represent high schoolers across the whole country. And they also meet with politicians and ministers. So this is Czech Republic, and it is split into 14 regions. And as you can see, each of these titles and logos represent a regional student parliament. And the goal of this organization is to have a regional parliament in each of the regions. And I think we're missing one or two for it to be achieved. And basically, the structure works like this. You have a school parliament, then you have the regional parliament, and then you have the Czech High School Union. And through these levels, they can basically communicate with the government and politicians and try to change stuff in the education that will improve it for all of the students. For example, they did a questionnaire in the COVID period where they asked around 10,000 people about how they liked online education and if it's improving over time. And actually, it turned out that most of the students actually prefer to go to class instead of have it online. They also organize political elections. So in our country, you can vote when you're 18, which most high schoolers aren't. However, to know the political preferences of young people, they organize these elections at schools so that the government knows kind of what the young people think, although they cannot influence the politics directly through voting. And when it comes to voting, they're actually trying to decrease the voting age to 16, which there are some pros and cons. Basically, the main argument is that if people are allowed to vote from the age of 16, they will become more interested in politics at an earlier age. And it will also allow students that are politically active around this age to also participate. So overall, I personally believe it would be a good thing, and it already works in some of the countries in Europe. And of course, they organize some meetups for people to get together and talk about some issues in the education system and how they could solve them. So thank you for being here today and listening to my presentation. That's all from me. And if you have any questions, hold on to them because I believe we'll be answering them later. Thank you.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much. That was so wonderful to hear from you. Next up, we will be hearing from Calvin. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you, Katie. So my name is Calvin Manika. I'm a Spartan. Today, I'm going to present on building partnerships and creating space for youth in marginalized communities through media to achieve sustainable development goals. So you can go to the next slide so that we can draw on. With a background of being a journalist and running a media house, I believe that there is a role media plays when it comes to the sustainable development goals. And one of those roles is to educate. And this is not only from my personal experience, but this is what my media organization has been doing for the past 2 years, to educate the communities, to educate the young people, and to inform them. Because when these things come, like, SDGs, most of the people, they might not understand what is this thing about, what are the SDGs. So the media now comes in to close that information gap by informing the audiences and also advocates, especially in the case of our media organization. We have that role and or part of advocates. Yes, when you talk of journalism ethics, there are issues around the fair reporting and being an advocate. But I think as my presentation goes on, you understand how we balance the two. So this role is also supported by the United Nations itself, because in 2018, they launched what they call SDG Media Compact. This is an initiative where they were trying to bring media organizations and companies from around the globe to try to advance the awareness of sustainable development goals, and also to inspire news and entertainment organizations to leverage on the resources they have. Talent is already there. Resources, they are already there within the media companies and organizations. So the United Nations wanted that link now so that they can be that amplification to accelerate progress towards achieving the goals. Next slide. Then coming on how the media is doing this role, and thanks to the Global Youth Advancement Network, which is trying to bring young people, global leaders who are making impact in various corners of the globe together, you'd find that we have children and young people, and that participation is key in terms of achieving of SDGs. So in Zimbabwe, we have seen a surge in youth-led organization. These organizations, they are working towards one or more of the 17 United Nations SDGs we have. But what amuses us as media people is not only the number in terms of statistics of establishments of this organization, but we are also seeing a steadfast growth of how these organizations, they are growing as they amplify these SDGs. There's peer-to-peer education, how young people, they are influencing one another in terms of this organization, their roles and what they want to achieve, and also some visible, tangible things which are happening around the communities, which I'm going to touch on later. Media, content creation itself, they are leveraging the social media spaces from WhatsApp, from YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all these media spaces, social media spaces in terms of content creation. But the main mission is try to amplify and to try to achieve and accelerate the achievement of SDGs. So this organization, they've made other people, which are children and young people, to know about these 17 SDGs so that they can explore areas each goal covers and also targets. When they identify these targets, some they find interest so that they can have synergies between the SDGs and the chosen targets, which I think, next slide, which I think is very important if we are going to achieve SDGs by 2030. And this is just 6 years, in 6 years to come. Next slide. So in the next slide, it defines us, it introduces us to the world. And this day, I'm very honored to be part of this collaboratory core. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Vesana Mail. It's an award-winning media house founded in 2022. Vesana means children in a local Nambia language. So from the background I've been sharing with you colleagues, you could see how passionate I am about children and about young people, because that is our day-to-day work at the Vesana Mail. We deal with young people. So we report on issues affecting children and marginalized communities in Zimbabwe. And it happened that the home of the Nambia people is called Wange. And Wange is one of the marginalized communities. That is where we started. And we've been going all over across the nation, targeting the borderline marginalized communities. We are creating a transition of children to active youth in sub-Saharan Africa. So we have seen this correlation or this link between children and youth. Yeah, I know that the definition, it differs with the regions. When I was in the United States at Michigan State University, I had another new definition about youth. And I was so impressed that, wow, why can't we take this home? It's different back here. But we have been trying to connect the two children, which is 0 to 18. That's children in Zimbabwe. Then young people, 16 to the age of 35. So at Vesana Male, we are bringing all these together, 0 to 35. So when we say transition, we are saying when these children, by definition of the law, comes to 16 years, we are now providing a platform for them to be active youth as they graduate from 16, now earmarking to go to the age of 18 and above, which is the ceiling age 35. We want them to be active in terms of community development, active in terms of accountability and governance issues. But most importantly, we have the sustainable development goals, how the Sana Mail as a media house can create that platform. Next slide. So the how question now, what we have done for every Friday of every week for the past 2 years, we have a guest on our program we call Weekly Guest at Vesana. So basically, you could see that we publish news like every day. Every day we are publishing articles around the issues I have alluded to. But now we have other programs which feed in to our reporting or to our newsroom. So we have got this weekly guest at Vesana, formerly roundtable discussion. When we started on Fridays, it was a roundtable discussion whereby we come up with a topic or a theme, then the people, they discuss, and this is a mixture in terms of audience. We've got the children, we've got the young people, we've got the elderly, we've got experts, we've got policymakers, professionals. They are part of this. And we host this on WhatsApp, and we've got big numbers there. Numbers, they are huge. And after the discussion, we then publish this on our website so that other colleagues who are not maybe part of the WhatsApp groups or other social media platforms where we'll be live streaming, they can have access to what we discussed. So as the roundtable discussion, we witnessed that, people, they have interest to discuss issues around sustainable development goals, issues which I'm going to share with you as I go on. But now there was deficiency in terms of expert knowledge. So last year, we changed it to a weekly guest, where now we invite a special guest. We have an interactive session with an expert. Then we unpack a certain critical issue or a certain topic which feeds to sustainable development goals. That interview will be followed by a plenary session, Q&A, where people ask questions so that they can have more knowledge on the topic, or maybe something which maybe the moderator from our side haven't asked, yet people, they feel there's need to have answers on that, on certain areas. Next slide. So this weekly guest is in a certain way a bridge. It is the platform creating synergies and collaborating among young people. Because some of these experts, they are young people with their organization. Maybe in this week, someone's organization looks at SDGI Goal 1, the other one maybe is in health, the other one in education, but they have common areas. They can create these synergies, they can collaborate. So now our platform, the weekly guest, become that bridge. It's connecting the experts, potential partners with the youth working on various areas of SDGs. And this also whole idea of the weekly guest and how it is bridging and creating these synergies. It is actually what SDG 17 goal says, to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. The United Nations saw it that for us as a global community to achieve the SDGs, there's need for global partnership. There's need for the partnership around the globe. So our guests, they are not limited to the geographical space of Zimbabwe. Some they come as far as Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, whenever, because through the Mandela Washington Scholarship and other various scholarships I've been in fellowship I've been around the world, I've made friends. So I'm using also my personal network to come and help in this cause which my organization is trying to bridge. So there is also one of the things which is very key to us also as an organization. As far as young people from different communities, they are having these synergies and partners. We are also benefiting as an organization and also the communities we serve in terms of sustainability. Because sometimes you'd find that this area we have covered today can feed to an area we have been deficient as an organization, and also can answer to some of the perennial challenges which our communities have been facing. So the weekly guest, we can gladly say for the past 2 years, has been the bridge. Next slide. So it is bringing the transfer of knowledge, the education on sustainable development goals beyond active youth. Normally our guests are active young people, but the audience is sometimes are people or young people who are not that active. So you'd see that they are having that information going out, making their peers know and appreciate the challenges we are facing, the solutions which are available, means to achieve SDGs. Consultants, this is very important, I think, around the globe, not only in sub-Saharan Africa. Expert advice is not for free most of the times. You have to pay for it, be it a lawyer, be it a health medical practitioner, whoever you want to consult, you have to pay. But these communities we are trying to save, they are marginalized communities. They barely live above $2 United States per day. And when we are coming,
have we lost him, or is it just I who can't hear?
I think we did lose him. Can anyone else see him? All right.
thank you, Katie. We are having network issues in Zimbabwe. I think my friend Elvis can testify that you are hosting a SADC summit in Zimbabwe. So the government has been trying to suppress internet somehow, because there are issues of protest going on.
No problem.
Okay.
All right. Is
Uh,
this
oh, thank you. So, no, the previous one.
this one?
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So I was saying that our communities and audience, they are now getting these services for free. But most importantly, and I think I want to thank for our guests who always shows up. They are able also to help even young people who are leading different organizations who are trying to pursue SDGs for free, without any cost, which I think the guest show is helping much of our young people. Also closing the generational gap, because some of these are experts, renowned people in their field who are coming, they are transferring the knowledge to the coming generation, which are the young people. Talk of competition and collaboration. Oh, it has been rife on our platform that young people, they always want to show up. I don't remember at one time we have invited any of these guests and we were turned down, especially the young people, because by bringing them on this and having a platform and also an audience with experts and also their interviews being published, and a week or so receiving calls from various parts of the world. There's now that competition that they want to come and present the work they are doing. But most importantly, that is also an opportunity for them to collaborate as they transfer knowledge among one another. Recommendations. Not all of us are perfect. not all of these youth organizations are doing it the right direction. Some, they might be veering off a bit from what they are trying to do in terms of achieving or amplifying SDGs. So these experts, and I'm happy that today we've got an expert on this in this room who also bring in expert knowledge so that we can be in the right course. So it's the similar issue on the weekly guest show. Next slide. So when we talk of marginalized communities, I've alluded to say these are neglected communities which suffers underdevelopment, characterized with poor infrastructure and a huge knowledge gap. In journalism language, we call them news deserts. But as the Vesana Mail, especially the area we save, we are no longer calling them news deserts because we are bridging that information gap. And change must be seen, and change must be tangible with changing lives, especially challenges faced by the young people. And some of the challenges faced by these young people, you know, some of them, they have, these are true stories we have reported that they haven't seen a computer like in the classroom. Some were privileged maybe to go for a holiday, maybe in an urban setup, yes. But regardless of that, the government have wrote up the ICT police that they must have computer labs and so forth. 90% or 92%, according to the statistics we have, they don't have those computer labs. Then some, they have computers, but they have no electricity. For example, in Binga district, which is along the Zambezi Valley, suddenly, maybe I think we have 2-3 schools with electricity in a district with more than 42 schools. So we are closing that information gap because you can imagine when you talk of scholarship, when you talk of fellowships which can help and change their lives, how best they can have such opportunities. We are going there through community listening sessions as the Vesana Mail and trying to for them to have that information. So next slide. So that is how we are closing the gap and creating opportunities to these young people. So the SDGs we have covered so far on our weekly guest show is SDG 1, which talks about not to poverty. Number 2, which talks about good health and well-being. Quality education, the goal for SDG number 4. Gender equality in terms of SDG 5, affordable and clean energy. And this, I think in the past month, we have hosted about 2 guests, and we are hoping to host more as we prepare for the COP29. SDG number 11, sustainable cities and communities, and also climate action. So SDG 7, 11, and 13, yeah, we have been having guests coming through, many of them for the past month. These 2 is just for this past month, but if I can recall for the past 3 months, the last SDGs, 7, 11, and 13, we have been having more guests because Wange, the area I've talked about, is the major co-producer, second in SADC, following the one in South Africa. So most of our electricity is coming from that town. So these are the things we have been trying for people to raise awareness and amplify these SDGs. Next slide. So the future is bright and promising. Why? This is one of the opportunity by Global Youth Advancement Network, which makes me to say the future is bright. I think from the short narrative I've been presenting here, colleagues, you can see that in those difficult situations, but we can't complain. We've been trying our best so that we amplify SDGs. We want to see research among people and also their communities. And most of these things, we've seen some in terms of collaboration and partnerships, and we're also trying to bring Institute of Higher Tertiary Education on board so that there will be research opportunities for our young people. We are doing well. Strategic partnership as a result of exposure. We have seen one in terms of wildlife conservation, it is coming on board, and even the donor is already reached out to us, and we are trying to finalize some details so that we roll out that partnership. Competitive use of natural resources. We are blessed with many of these natural resources, but how best can young people come on board, invest, and be recognized by the government, and also being partakers of this large cake, the big cake, the investment in human resources, especially the youth. Yes, the future is bright, but the young people are not the future. They are people of the now. If the elderly are going to do anything for us to achieve SDGs by 2030 and to sustain that momentum beyond 2030, even the African Union Vision 2050, we need young people, we need investment on young people. Sustainable development, those communities I have mentioned, we need to see ICT infrastructure there. We need to see wash going there in terms of water and sanitation infrastructure. Then we've got our usual question on every weekly guest show, which we ask people to say, how do you see the Vesana Mail helping on these issues we have discussed today? This is a question about growth. It makes us to see, to introspect ourselves and our work, and also potential opportunity of solutions we can offer as an organization. Colleagues, we don't stand alone as Vesana Mel. We have the Global Youth Advancement Network. We have these opportunities, and all colleagues in this room and other breaking out rooms. What we want to see at the end of the day is achievement of SDGs. And we know that our own success is the success of the team we are having today, is the success of everyone across the global community. With this, the next slide, here, I say thank you in our local language, Tovoka.
Thank you so much for the amazing presentation. I'm so happy we get to hear from you all today. Next, we will be moving on to Elvis's presentation. If you have any questions for Kelvin, again, please hold on to them. We'll be addressing those after all the presenters have gone.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Elvis Kadama, co-founder and CEO at Izemat Africa. Izemat is enhancing agricultural yields and improving farmers' income through the use of technology. And currently, we are using a web application and e-commerce platform where farmers can access our website and make selection of a variety of farm inputs, something which has not been happening before. So we are using technology to enable farmers access farm inputs and markets for their agri-food produce. In Uganda alone, 80% of smallholder farmers of the population are employed in the agricultural sector. And these farmers, they contribute a lot to the economic development of the country. But guess what? Those in rural communities, they access fertilizers, seeds, pesticides, and other farm equipment. They are charged 30 to 40%.
Can I jump in for a second, Elvis? I'm so sorry. Is everybody muted?
Right.
I think we are hearing some of your background noise. Is there someone talking in the background?
Oh, yeah, there's someone like at that because I'm at a meeting, so there is a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
All right. We're just able to hear somebody else talking, so I wasn't sure if that was somebody else that had muted your screen or muted themselves. But
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. Okay, thank you. So they are charged between 30% and 40% markup, higher costs on inputs, and there is uncertainty of prices, quality, and availability because the agro dealers, each one charges different prices for different farm inputs. These farmers are often misguided about the right variety and inputs to use on their farms per season. and these are one of the things that leads to low productivity and profitability. There is no assurance of quality and accountability from agro dealers, and this has made many people to run away from farming and or else to make losses. Next, farmers don't get crop advisory services and access to market for their agri-food produce. This comes because there is no reliable channel for crop advisory and information, low customization based on farmers' profile and prevailing crops. They majorly depend on local aggregators. These are middlemen who normally pay them less for their sweat at the end of the growing season. There is no defined payment or weighing terms. Each middleman can come with his weighing method and different payment method. I can pay cash or I can pay you later after you have served me and have sold the produce, and they end up cheating the farmers. And also, farmers can lose up to 40% of their harvest before they reach to the market. And with our technology in agriculture, Izemat is able to help smallholder farmers access farm inputs or save inputs on seeds, fertilizers of between 10 and 15% on every growing season. Farmers have access to a wide range of best agri inputs from trusted sources, because our platform has a number of farm inputs from seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides. So there is no limitation to farmers, and they get recommendation of right dosage and input based on profile and historical cropping, because we attach product features and agronomic practices per product on the platform before even a customer makes a purchase or places any order. They first get to know information about a particular input. When it comes to crop advisory, farmers are increasing their yields by 40%. They get customized advisory calls in local language from our agronomists, and they also get one-on-one interactions with our experts through voice calls on a weekly basis, bi-weekly or quarterly basis throughout the growing season. And farmers through the use of our technology, they get their farm queries resolved through Izamat service providers. When it comes to market, farmers earn up to 20% of better prices because we link them direct to buyers of their agri-food produce. Farmers also access.
Elvis, can I jump in one more time? I'm so sorry. It's just a little difficult to hear you. Is there somewhere you could go that's just a little bit quieter, because we're kind of hearing a lot of background noise and it's a little difficult to hear some of your presentation.
Okay, maybe share the slides from that side. I shift.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm so sorry about that. I just wanted everyone to be able to hear you.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So I ended that market linkage to farmers. Farmers working with Izemat are gaining a 20% better price. So direct connection to buyers instead of selling to middlemen, which hit them almost 50% every season. And there is easy access to better buyers and markets, transparent weighing and payment terms, because Izemat negotiates with these buyers that we need to be transparent to the farmers so that they can benefit from their sweat, and also communication from buyers to grow the niche crops and variety as per the market demand. So we do this, farmers can access all this communication through digital devices like SMS, voice calls, even on our website because we normally post advertisements of anything that is happening. And we are happy that people are now embracing technology, especially in rural agriculture, because almost 80% of the population in Uganda have access to internet and smartphones. Next slide. So the EasyMart technology was designed for last mile agricultural services and products, and our e-commerce platform offers 20 plus agri imports from equipment at better prices, and it's a 24/7 access by self-service or support by agents. What I mean by self-service, if Kate is a farmer, she navigates our website and she makes choice of the inputs or equipment she wants to use, and then she places in an order, and we get it delivered to your doorsteps. For agent support, for those farmers who don't know how to use internet, who don't know how technology works, we have agents across different villages where we operate. So it's a mandate to these agents to reach out to these farmers, and they help them to place orders online and get their inputs delivered on time, and also to make payments. Because we do digital payments through mobile money, MTN, and Airtel, and also bank transfers. So not all farmers are tech savvy or know how to use technology. And through agri-tech solution, we provide farm-based advisory on real-time basis, and this we normally send SMSs to farmers, like telling them when about weather updates, how to apply fertilizers, how to plant, how to do weeding, how to do mulching on real time, how to apply pesticides, when to apply, things of that kind. So without technology, farmers will be losing a lot because they were doing things on their own way as they wait to meet with agricultural officers who not even exist in different villages. Currently, we are replacing our solutions, providing value to farmers through days of digital technology by replacing the physical shops or stores where farmers had to travel between 5 to 10 kilometers on a daily basis, a weekly basis, to access inputs. Where there is no self-service, so farmer has to go to the shop, him or herself, and they put their lives at risk. They incur transport costs, which are high, and right now, farmers pay less just for delivery, and they can top up that money to buy more inputs, and the farmers have been doing physical payments like cash. So we are replacing all this with a digital platform, an e-commerce center, self-service, agent support, online marketing, access to agricultural loans. And with this, we are partnering with banks, and we collect information. Farmers apply for loans online. We share the information with the banks, and then banks pay money. Once they approve Katie's loan, banks pay money through to EasyMart, maybe via mobile money transactions or bank transfer, and then EasyMart delivers inputs instead of giving cash to farmers, which they have been ending up diverting to other things. But with technology, there are things getting done and on time. Farmers are having product information and performance right away on their mobile phones, on their smartphones, something which was not happening before. And we are providing them access to smartphones on credit. We are partnering with those companies that have a pay-go system, so that those farmers who don't have access to smartphones can access them and gain that chance to advance their agricultural technologies, digital payments. Many farmers were not used to making payments online, like using mobile money, using bank transfers. They used to carry cash, physical cash with them always. So all these are changing the status quo in the farmers' life, and also providing them training on digital technology. As I mentioned, not all farmers have knowledge about technology, how to operate a smartphone, how to make payments, how to buy things online. So we take them through the whole value chain by offering them training. Next slide. So Miss Kauma Monica is one of our happy farmers, as you can see in the picture. That's me with her when I visited her on her farm. She's one of the farmers who have really embraced technology, and with that, she's seeing increase in yields of maize, beans, and vegetables that she's doing, increase in incomes because of increased production, and also easy access or direct access to buyers for her produce who are paying her good prices and directly on her mobile phone without touching the money physically. She's also getting live weather updates, agricultural updates, farm visits, through using technology, real-time updates via mobile app, mobile phone calls, and SMS. So how are we measuring such farmers' impact? We do carry out customer surveys per season to find out, and here we've put some examples of how Kauma Monica has been able to increase her yields. She was getting 300 kilograms of maize in 1 acre, and now she's harvesting 1,500 kilograms, 50 kilograms of beans, and now she's harvesting 300 kilograms per acre. Next slide. So here are some of the challenges that Izamat is facing when it comes to digital revolution, access to funding, because we need to do more training, like buying more inputs so that we can have them in stock, and mass farmers place orders we are able to deliver. Poor infrastructure like impassable roads to make it difficult for us to deliver farmers inputs, internet connection in different remote places, farmers low or no knowledge on the use of technology, and extreme weather events affecting our farmers every season. Next slide. So we are a team of young people with a dream of building 10 teams with a strong company culture, focusing on building diverse, talented people who share our vision. And Elvis Kadama is the co-founder and CEO with 10 years in farming and 2 years in e-commerce. Viva Kasinje, our Chief Technology Officer, 5 years in software technology and fintech. Viola Nakadama, co-founder and agronomist lead, with 3 years in farming, and Stella Dorni Namrondo, our co-founder and customer relations, with 3 years in customer service. And all of us, we are below 30 years, but adding value to many lives of smallholder farmers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Elvis. Thank you, everybody. Bryce, did you have anything that you wanted to share with us today, or should we go ahead and open it up to Q&A?
No, I just want to say that I appreciate all three of you and was really impressed with your presentations. But I would say let's start with Q&A. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask the presenters or our experts?
I'll ask a question. This is Maxine Hankins-Kane from Lansing, Michigan. And the last presenter, I thought that all three of the presentations were informative, but I want to find out how are they trying to deal with their challenges how they're trying to deal with their challenges. And the other question is, what is the most rewarding thing that they find happening relative to their service to what they're doing?
Okay, thank you for that, to those great questions. So how are we trying to navigate the challenges that we are facing? One, when it comes to funding, we design profitable business models that enable us to have revenue that we can reinvest back into the business so that we are able to serve our customers without when we don't have like access to external funding. So with that, we do direct B2C model where we sell inputs to farmers. There is also a B2C model where we link farmers to buyers for their agri-food produce. And here we earn a 20% commission from every successful transaction. And then for inputs, we earn a 20% markup on every farm input. So that's how we are making money, and it's helping us to navigate the funding challenge currently. Then for infrastructure, impassable roads, now what we do, we get our agents with the stock such that if Kate places an order and we see which location is Kate, we direct Kate, or we link up with our agent and connect him or her with Kate so that our products can reach easily to the customer, to the farmer, instead of waiting for it to travel from our warehouse to where this farmer is. Because sometimes, especially on rainy seasons, these roads are impassable. So that's how we are doing it. We get the products stocked with our agents. Once we receive an order, it's easy for us to, for the agent to deliver that. Then with the internet, still we don't have any solution with that because it's general and we don't have any control of like maybe if internet is like this, we can do like this. But we're also planning to do offline technology like building USSD codes whereby it doesn't need internet connection. So if internet goes off, still farmers will be getting the services and products from our end.
So what is the most rewarding thing that you've experiencing in what you're doing?
The most rewarding thing we have experienced is working with smallholder farmers, especially women, because 80% of our farmers are women. And also encouraging young people to do agriculture, because our mothers like you are aging. You don't have that too much energy to work on farm and produce the food that we really need. So we are doing our best to make young people love farming so that we can be able to produce enough food to feed the next billion population that are coming in the near future. So those two are the most rewarding, working with women farmers and the youth.
Thank you. Do others want to respond to that same question, the other two, or do we have time?
We do have some time. We have about 7 minutes left if you would both like to answer that question.
When it comes to overcoming challenges, I have to say that the biggest help are always other people. And what has helped me the most is that I have built and I'm still building a network of contacts, and I just know who to reach out. So I ask for help, people that have been through the stuff that I'm working on, that are ahead or are working on the same task as me, so we can partner up and share our experiences and tackle challenges together. So when it comes to challenges, it for sure has to be other people. And what I gained most from these projects and activities, it just opened so many doors for me and created so many opportunities that helped me get to where I am. And it's still helping me in life to have big dreams and big goals that I want to achieve.
What's your biggest goal?
So right now I'm trying to get to NYU.
Good job. Calvin, can we hear you now? That's one of our challenges too, sometimes technology. Man, I think he's frozen.
He might have frozen again. All right, we just got our 5-minute reminder, so I'm just gonna ask, well, Kelvin comes back, I'll ask you all four of you a quick question. In one sentence, what is the most valuable thing that your projects have taught you? Or your career, or whatever you've been working on. Bryce, you want to answer this one first? The most valuable thing your career has taught you, because we haven't heard from you yet.
Sure, yeah. So my role is within international education, and I think for me, what I've learned, and I think today's a great example of that, is the necessity of collaboration and bringing diverse ideas in, right? So I chose to be in the field of international education because I believe that bringing in international students and scholars into American universities is a key necessity to increase our global knowledge set, right? Bringing in diverse ideas, having diverse experiences in classrooms, in scholarly pursuits, and research is essential in order to do the most we possibly can. And so I think that today was a great example of that, of hearing, three people with very different experiences, different goals, different initiatives, and how they're all, focused on the same SDGs, and how we're all kind of looking towards the same ideals and pursuits, but we're doing it in different ways with different backgrounds in the ways that we're experts in. So I think that, what my role and my goal has been is to bring everyone together. And that's what the purpose of international education is. And so today I think was a great reflection of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Would anyone else care to touch on that?
So for me, it is to talk to other people about what I'm working on and what I'm struggling with, to not be afraid to ask for help, but on the other hand, offer help as well, because from my experience, if you offer to help people, they will often try to reciprocate and help you back in the future.
Also a great answer. It looks like Kelvin is still missing, but Elvis, do you have anything to add? Oh, we have 1 minute left.
Yeah, maybe I'll also do the same thing with Kelvin, like to speak more about my solution, how we are using technology to improve farmers' yields, farmers' incomes, and how we can use technology to bring change in many people's lives and solving the most world pressing challenges, especially in the agriculture sector, and to make sure that we have enough food to feed the population and also fight malnutrition, because if people are not producing enough, it means that many children will be malnourished, many pregnant mothers will be starving. So we need to speak out about agriculture, about technology,